What's up, guys? It's Duke back here from sportsgamers.com, and in today's Madden 20 tip, I'm going to break down an unstoppable run play. This is actually my favorite run play in the game right now because it's so explosive. It can get you so many long touchdown runs, but it's also very consistent and always getting good positive yardage, and it's going to allow you guys to easily beat every run defense out there. We're going to break down exactly how we like to attack each one of those in this video, and I'm also going to show you guys several motions you can use to make this run play even better. Now, before we get into it, I do want to remind you guys to please subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscribe button in the corner of the video. Make sure you turn your notifications on so that you don't miss out when we upload our videos. I promise you guys we're uploading great content every day that you don't want to miss out on. And in the meantime, if you guys want to get better at Madden 20, head over to sportsgamers.com for the best Madden 20 tips and ebooks. So guys, we're going to get into it now. We're going to be looking at the single back doubles north HB stretch. This is a run that's like not really a meta run. It's super dominant though, but a lot of people haven't really played against it, so they don't really know how to defend it. So this run play is really good against every meta run defense out there. I'm going to break down how to attack all of them. Now, one of my favorite things about this formation is that it has a lot of good passing setups and also another good run play too. So it's a really good scheme overall. It's one of the most underrated but yet very effective and balanced schemes in the game. If you like stuff that's against the meta, you will love this. Now, like I said, I have a full scheme ready to go. Give me 300 likes the first day this video is out, and we're going to drop that for you ASAP. So again, 300 likes, and I'm dropping my full scheme, my other pass setups, well, all my pass setups and my other run setups included. But in this video, we're going to focus on, like I said, this run play that I love, different motions I use to attack each of the run defenses out there. So let's start with 3-5 wide. 3-5 wide. Really a few ways to use this. You can use the cover 2 man, which is very common, or the cover 1 contain. Now, personally, cover 1 contain really should not be used against 3 receiver formations like this. It should be more against 2 receiver or like heavy 3 tight ends or 2 tight ends, 2 running back formations, because your 3 receivers out here don't really want to be spying a safety that's manned up on a receiver, right? So they can't really do that. Now, with that said, because of that, if I see that they're in the cover 1 contain, and it's pretty obvious in a 3 receiver formation like this, because you'll see that safety kind of over that receiver, and then also this setup, they don't spread out the D-line, so I pretty much already know that. I can just literally playmaker this run to the left, and it's going to kill it. Now, you guys can see here how easy that truly is, and again, this is a reason why I love this formation. I've been preaching this all year long, is you need runs and formations where the run is effective to both ways. So here you guys can see a great example of that. We have 2 receivers on the left, and I actually have a tight end package on the left, but you don't have to do that. And then you have a tight end and a receiver on the right. So we have essentially 2 extra blockers on each side of the formation, so it's good either way. Now that's very important. Now I want to start getting into motions. So like if you see them in the 2-man under setup where they spy both safeties, and it's obvious because the safeties are further back, equal distance, and also because they spread out their D-line, you want to playmaker it to the left and then motion this receiver from the right to the left and snap it right there in between the guard and the tackle. Now, this is such a good motion because, yeah, obviously you can see it definitely changed how the defense reacted, who got blocked and everything. And it will do this every time. It's very consistent. I'm going to show that. You're going to see that this works very well. And, it's very consistent. Now, look here. You can see how easily I'm able to get around this corner and get to the outside for some good yardage. The blocking's great. And one thing you're going to see here in a second, later in the video, is this same motion also works on a lot of the meta zone defenses that people use from Monday out there, like the pinch dog or the cover 4 drop and the pinch dog 2 press, basically cover 2 and cover 4 that people use. I'm going to show it against those as well, and it's very good. But I do want to show it once or twice more against this cover 2 man because, I do want to just let you guys see how well it truly does work time after time. So we're going to come out here and we're going to run the same play, the HB stretch. Again, we're just going to playmaker the run to the left. If you don't know how to do that, you just flick the right analog stick to the left. If you want to playmaker to the left, if you want to playmaker to the right, again, you just flip the right analog stick to the right. So just whichever side you want to run the ball to, you can playmaker the opposite way by flicking the right analog stick in that direction. So you guys can see here, again, able to get around this corner and get good yardage, like I said. Very, very consistent. It's not something that's just going to work once in a while. It will work every single time. All right. So that's big. I mean, that's definitely big for us that we have a consistent motion that we can use to counteract that defense. All right. So now that we see that, I want to move on to some of this 3-4 odd stuff. I'm going to start with the cover 4. So we're going to look at this cover 4 now. Like I said, it's pretty common defense out here. People bring the safeties in the box, pinch the D-line, spread out the linebackers. Now at this point, sometimes they blitz the inside linebackers and put them on contains. Sometimes they just leave them in coverage. We'll do an example of each. But I still like to use this motion that I showed you against the 3-5 wide, where we motion the right receiver to the left, snap it in between the tackle and the guard. And you guys can see we get good room to the outside. The blocking holds up really well, and we're easily able to, get around that corner for a touchdown. Now, you're not always going to get a touchdown, obviously, but you will, generally speaking, have very good blocking to get, consistent yardage that's going to, definitely allow you to keep staying on the ground and not having to pass. Typically when I run this run, and I recognize the defense, make the right, motions and, just run it the right way, it's very rare that I'll get less than 5 to 10 yards. Now this time I actually want to put these linebackers that you see here, the inside linebackers, like I said, sometimes you blitz them, sometimes you put them on contains, sometimes, you just leave them in coverage. That time went ahead and put them on the contains, I believe. You guys can see the motion worked just the same. We're able to get around that corner. And that time, we didn't get a touchdown, but we did get another nice little gain. So you guys can see that motion is effective against, zone as well as the man. So now I want to look at the pinch dog 2 press. So this is another very common run that people use. This is cover 2 based. Now basically, guys, the people that run this will, go ahead and pinch the defense. It's, the pinch defense. Then they're going to take the middle linebacker and hover in that gap. Now, this makes it pretty much very hard, with few exceptions, to run dives. And then with stretches, if you run to the same side that they're hovering in the gap with their user, they're going to be able to, most of the time, if they have good stick, kind of like shoot around and get you, basically. So basically what you need to do is you need to run the other way. So if you see them hovering in the gap on the right, you want to run left. Now, you don't necessarily even need to use that motion I just showed you against this defense. As you guys can see here, even without the motion, if you just run away from the side that they're using, you guys can see here they're using right, so we're going to run left, generally will work out for you pretty well. If you guys want to see an example of that, so we're going to run left, and you guys can see we seal that edge before the safety comes to us. We get a nice 7, 8, 9 or so yards. So that's going to be very consistent. Now, all that said, if you want, you definitely can use the motion of that right side receiver to bring him over to the left and snap it between the guard and the tackle. Because that's zone, that will just give us an additional blocker, because obviously the corner is not going to follow when he's in zone. So you guys can see, is able to pull out around the corner and get, another nice little gain. So yeah, you're not always going to get touchdowns, but you guys can see here every run has been consistent, good yardage that we can rely on, to move the chains. Once again, same example, motion. You guys can see, able to get to the outside, get a nice little 4 or 5 yard run. That's probably the worst you're going to see. All right, so moving on, let's now get into some different looks. So other than the zone, you definitely will see a lot of people play, the cover 1 base, edge blitz, storm brave, defense. Those are still, very popular at the beginning of the year, but, you still do see them used against you. So here, it's edge blitz because you see the safety in the box on the right, the pinch D-line, the spread linebackers. So at this point, these defenses are very hard to run against to the side of the safeties in the box. That's been very consistent throughout this whole year. So you have 2 ways you can attack these types of defenses. The first way is you can literally just run, playmaker to the left, and run away from the safety in the box. In my opinion, that's the best way to do it, because as you guys can see here, you essentially are just one-on-one with that safety, who's generally going to be the user. So being one-on-one with the safety, you can make a miss and score a touchdown if you make a miss. But even if you don't miss, you're already getting yourself a nice 7, 8, 9, 10 plus yards, one-on-one with safety. Here, we got closer to 15. When there's a user that has good stick, he's probably not going to allow you to get 15 yards before he gets to you. But you still will get, good yardage. But it's probably not going to be 15 unless you make him miss, just to be real. But The other thing you could do is you can motion this inside receiver on the left to the right, and you guys can see when you do that, it moves that safety out of the box. And as soon as the safety's out of the box, when you snap the ball like that while he's in motion, you can get good yardage to that side too now. So now you have two ways to attack this defense. So we're going to do this motion again. You see we keep it to the right, and we're going to motion this left slot receiver to the right side of the field, just like this. Again, you see the safety moves out of the box. We snap it while he's in motion. And again, that's very good yardage. So, I definitely like that motion. Overall, if I had to say, I probably would say I like to just run it to the left more so than not, because that's, just literally one-on-one with the safety pretty much every time unless they get a crazy shed. And I feel like, most people probably are confident that they can make that safety miss here and there and get a touchdown. And even when they don't, like I said, that's very good yardage before the safety can get to you that you're going to consistently get. That's going to allow you guys to keep the chains moving and, honestly, not even have to pass the ball if you don't want to. So, next, Storm Brave. Storm Brave, to me, is worse than Edge Blitz. It really always has been this year to me. Basically, you see that linebacker creeping up. It's Edge Blitz. Storm Brave. When you see that linebacker creeping up. And then the other tell is they don't pinch the D-line. But, yeah, it's easy to quick snap. So Storm Brave is pretty easy to beat. Like I said, I don't think it's that great of a run D anymore. It's really just about quick snapping it. The last year I want to see, show this against this 3-4 bear. 3-4 bear, there's a lot of different ways to run it. But I would say the one common thing that people will use is to play with the little seam flats that defend the run pretty good. It's that pinch, where's it at here? Pinch dog 3 from the 3-4 bear. It's definitely a solid run D. There's different ways you could utilize it. I've had people run this defense quite a few ways on me this year. But, the seam flats on both sides are really effective at stopping the run, especially this one right here, over here on the left. And then people will just a lot of people will use it when the safeties, or especially the 3 rec, and just try to, blow up the other side. Yeah, it's definitely a solid run D. But, you can utilize motion to attack this. Now, like I said, people run this a little bit different. There's not just, I've played against people who run this several different ways. So it's not like there's one setup that everyone and their mama, uses. It's a setup to where there's slight differences in how people like to use it. But I will tell you that regardless of all that, I've found a motion that just beats this defense really well. Now, it kind of depends upon if they baseline or not. Because if they don't baseline, when you use this motion, people are going to move all over the place on the defensive side. But if they do baseline, it really won't. But either way, it works. So we're just going to motion this guy over and snap the ball right about here in this gap. And what you guys see is basically going to be a lead blocker. So you can cut up like I did there. I kind of cut it up. Or depending upon how the defense, kind of reacts, you can cut it outside. Here, I cut it up. Bam. Because I kind of seen that 38 was going to the outside. That's pretty much just my read. And a lot of times, this could be the user. I read if he's going to stay at home or if he's going to go outside. If he goes outside, I cut inside. If he stays to the inside, I'll just cut outside. It's really that simple. But I basically just have created numbers advantage here because, again, this is a zone-based defense. So when I use this motion, I'm gaining an extra blocker against the defense. And now, basically, I'm going to have my advantage either way. So it doesn't really matter, who they user or which way they go. I just literally look at and see, hey, are they going to overcommit to the outside or are they going to stay at home? That's really it. So this time you guys can see he got blocked a little bit better on the inside, so I hit the outside and got big yards. It's a pretty easy way to attack them in this 3-4 bear look. Is just this motion right here. It's a very, very good motion. It's this 3-4 bear defense. I don't really like running to the other side too much. You guys can see what I'm talking about. If they don't baseline, the people just run around crazy. But, that's only if they don't baseline. Because if they baseline, it's not going to happen. But either way, again, this motion is able to defeat this defense. So I hope you guys enjoyed this run scheme. Remember, guys, 300 likes, and I'll drop my full scheme from this formation, including the other runs and pass setups. Again, 300 likes, and I'll drop it immediately. So until next time, it's Duke. I'm out of here. Hope you all enjoyed the tip.